Hi guys, welcome to Alex's Game Corner, the segment where I share with you my favorite games and maybe convince you to try them out too. Today, I'm introducing you guys to my favorite card game, which if you've been here a while, you know is the Digimon TCG. So I've been playing Digimon for its entire life cycle, so I kind of know everything there is to know about it. I'm also a judge. Kinda, not really anymore, but I'll take the test again and then I'll be a real judge again, hopefully. Digimon's been around for a very long time. It was that monster collecting TV show a lot of you saw as a kid, even though they didn't collect any real monsters on there besides the ones that they had. But it was in the same vein as Pokemon. A lot of people compared the two, but they couldn't be more different, especially in terms of card games. The game focuses on the element of evolution, where you have a Digimon partner who evolves to higher levels or stages throughout the entire story until they become a mega level Digimon, which is basically a god. You start from these cute little guys like this Lopmon here, and you get all the way up to a tank with a face. Actually, there's a couple tanks with faces in Digimon, but this card game is really interesting to me, and I want to tell you a little bit about how the game works. The most important thing that you have to keep track of is the memory counters. One or both of you have to have what's called a memory counter. It might be on your playmat that you're playing on, or it might be little cards that you collect over time that you can get from different events. These have numbers 1 through 10 on either side of them, and they allow you to keep track of the memory resource that the game requires. The cards you play have a play cost in the top left-hand corners of them, and what that means is to play that card to the board or the battle area, you will pay memory up to that much. So let's say if you're at 0 memory and you play Lopmon that costs 3, you just move the memory counter in your opponent's direction 3 spaces. If the memory counter passes over 0 and enters your opponent's zone, your turn will end immediately after all effects are resolved. And then they get to play. So I have this Terriermon here. It's a level 3 Digimon. As you can see in the text box down here next to its name is its level. Besides that, below it is the box where inherit effects goes. Above that is the main abilities text box. Anything the card does goes in this section. There's also the costs in the top of the card. There's a play cost associated with the Digimon and a Digivolve cost. So Digivolve cost will tell you what level it Digivolves over and for how much. And finally, there's also the DP value of a Digimon. Attack power, basically. So there's this really neat back and forth gameplay loop in the game where you're trading momentum with your opponent, and you both want to be as efficient as possible, but also deny your opponent the ability to do their best moves. I love decks that incorporate things that we colloquially call memory tamers. Yao and Mimi here. These are both tamer cards in the game that once played to the board will automatically let you start your turns with 3 memory. They're not like Digimon. They're usually characters from a Digimon property like the anime or a manga, and they'll have effects that augment the way your decks work, that maybe give you a little bit of extra memory, or they draw you a card, or they do some really powerful effect that's frankly broken. The way that it works is you just want to whittle down your opponent's security cards from 5 to 0, and then do 1 more attack for game. Pretty similar to the damage zone in Vanguard and also prize cards in Pokemon. What I enjoy best about that gameplay loop is that it's very action oriented. Stalling doesn't work that well in this game. This is a game that really favors explosive gameplay, and that's mostly because there's 2 areas of the game where your opponent will be hard pressed to attack you on. It's your breeding area, which is where you start from a level 2 Digi-Egg card and Digivolve anything back there safely until it leaves the breeding area, which means you always have an avenue to play the game, even if your opponent is beating you badly. Evolution in this game is probably the most important aspect of it. So the way evolution works is that you're trying to take either a level 3 Digimon or a level 2 Digi-Egg card and stack the next higher number on top of that card to evolve it to that stage. So in the breeding area, I can Digivolve this Fremon into Leomon as a level 3 Digimon. I'll draw a card immediately when I do that. By paying some memory, I can Digivolve again into Leomon, and I draw another card when I Digivolve like that. And you just keep Digivolving higher and higher until you hit level 6 and even level 7 Digimon. What that gives you access to, besides the higher DP, is a whole host of what's called inherited effects. When a Digimon evolves, it literally inherits the effects of a Digimon below it. When you create these stacks of Digimon, you gain access to these inherited effect zones that are on the bottom of every card. In this Leomon stack I have here, both of the cards underneath have an inherited effect. One helps you draw cards when you attack, one gives you an effect when you're deleted. Those are very useful in this deck, and they will help augment the way you play against your opponent. In this Marine Bullmon stack, one of my Digimon doesn't even have an inherited effect. Don't love that. Another area where you're always safe to play, usually, are your Tamer cards. There are very few effects in the game that actually can affect Tamer cards, which means you can freely get them onto your board and start enjoying their effects right away. So like other card games, the Digimon card game likes to mess with colors. Red, blue, green, yellow, purple, black, and white is really important for deck building because you need to keep track of your colors to play certain cards and digivolve certain things, and the different colors have certain gameplay elements associated with them. For example, red decks are very aggressive focused. A lot of their inherited effects and activated effects are going to either delete your opponent's Digimon or give your Digimon more DP. But that's generally the things that I think are important to know about this game. So the things that I like most about this game and why I keep playing it and try to play it with other people is that I really adore the art in Digimon. The Digimon card game does a great job at crediting its artists, so we actually know who these people are. You can follow different artists if you want and like collect all their cards. I have a binder full of Naochika Morishita's arts in Digimon. I especially love the access to alternate art cards. For instance, my Yao Qinlan here is a pre-release stamped version of herself. This is my alt art Yao Qinlan. No pre-release stamp, but you can see a visible difference in this card. Same with my heavy Leomon alt art. These are like the most important cards that you can ever collect in most card games, especially in Digimon. I've also brought my binder to share with you some of my favorite cards. So I love putting alt art cards in here. That's basically what it mostly is. Some promo cards too. Like up front, I put two of my rarest cards here. They're like special SP rares of cards. It's a silver Darkness Baggermon that's worth almost nothing because no one loves Darkness Baggermon like I do. And there's a gold trimmed Greymon card. And these are both cards I actually managed to pull out of sets without having to buy the card online. So this entire page and a bit on the next two pages are all made by the same artist, Naochika Morishita. And I fell in love with their art. There's a similar like theming that goes through all of it. Very good shading. They like using dark colors. They've actually done a lot of purple Digimon for some reason. Yeah, not sure what that's about. Some of my favorites here are the Gallantmon Crimson mode right here and the Bancho Leomon down here. Can you tell what my favorite Digimon is? Quick thing that I also love about memory in the Digimon card game is that you can use anything really as a memory counter. I like using little Digimon figures like this Tokomon here. You can either get them from Gashapon machines because they're like perfectly the right size already, or you can even get official ones they make for the card game that they include in products. How can you get into this game? Well, there's a couple avenues. The Digimon card game comes out with periodic starter decks, booster sets, and what's called extra boosters. Like the latest starter decks that came out were the green Zephagamon deck and yellow Sandrillamon deck, and they introduced simple strategies that were seen in the Digimon Liberator webcomic. If you want to boost them up, I would strongly recommend you pick up the EX7 Digimon Liberator set, which coincidentally came out at the same time as them. And that set directly gives you support for those decks and introduces more strategies from the Digimon Liberator webcomic. You can play at your local card game shop. There are shops all over the country, and you can even find them using the Digimon website. And if you don't have one, you can always make your own. The game's popular enough where you can find people to play with, especially if you have any old heads that also loved Digimon as a kid running around. Bandai also has an app called Bandai TCG Plus. You can upload deck lists, you can sign up for tournaments, you can find tournaments and stores all on this one platform. It's kind of similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! Neuron, if you know what that is. And if you want to play a Digimon card game online, well, there is an unofficial fan-made Digimon simulator made by a friend of mine, Huang Zero, you can get on there, build decks, and play with people online and also your friends. And yeah, I play every week. In fact, I'm actually a judge at my local, so I not only play the game, but I also have to judge card interactions and general state of play and make sure everybody's playing the game correctly and also having a good time. Well, and that's the Digimon card game. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You maybe learned something, saw something you really liked, something you want to play. Because in the end, I'm sharing these videos so that you guys can maybe try out some of the things I'm trying, because I'm always looking for people to play with. Anyway, I hope that you'll see me in my next video where I'll be showing off another game that I enjoy. Maybe a card game, maybe a video game, who knows? Remember to like the video and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.